prayer and then pledge allegiance. May we bow in an attitude of prayer. Gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for the night of rest. Thank you for this awesome day in our community, our county. What a beautiful day every day is in Washington County. Direct us, guide us, use us for your service, Lord, to serve others. May we honor and please you in all that we do and say. I pray in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. With that, I'll go ahead and officially call our meeting for June 6th to order. And we have approval of the minutes first and foremost from May 16th.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Comments or second?
Second.
Okay, motion is second to approve the minutes of May 16th. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, gentlemen. With that, we'll open up for commissioners' reports and comments. And Mr. Wagner, you want to go first?
I generally do, I guess. 79th day of, today's the 79th anniversary of D-Day. And good morning, by the way. Our own Jack Myers is in Normandy. How old's Jack, Jeff?
He'll be 100 years old on June 17th.
100 years old on June 17th. Jeff, I think, rode with him in the Sharpsburg Parade. But that's quite an achievement. He's over in Normandy representing us well. He was on the Today Show today.
Wow.
So he's not only local, he's international. Yeah, I was able to attend our graduation for our fire academy at Tech High out of South High the other night. It was good to see the young people coming out of that academy. As I think most of them are firefighter 2s and EMTs, and hopefully they'll hang around and help the county out a little bit. I'll tell you a fun event. It was the Lowe's I call it the extravaganza block party out at Lowe's every year. Our own Brandy Noggle invited us out. She's helped promotes it and puts it on. It was something. I mean, if nobody's ever been there, it was a big show. They had food vendors from everywhere, and it was all free. So, and that was pretty good. And hot dogs were good. But anyway, they had a horse and buggy, like the old stagecoach, giving rides in that. Fire trucks, the typical, everything's happening at Lowe's, 10 to 2. That's every year, so maybe somewhere around 1st of June every year. I hope everybody had a pleasant Memorial Day. I was able to attend a couple ceremonies for Memorial Day. Marty Snook is always, they traditionally do the 31st instead of the Monday, so we went on Tuesday. So it's a solemn and very well done memorial service. Sharpsburg Memorial Parade. That was a nice event. They had Sharpsburg. I didn't make Boonesboro. I did make Sharpsburg. As I said a couple weeks ago, I was recruited to pull the Miss Washington County, Miss Western Maryland, Miss Washington County teen, Miss Western Maryland teen, and some princesses. It was pretty fun, actually. So they were on a trailer behind me, and it was a big turnout for Sharpsburg. It was as a remembrance of our veterans who passed away in service to this country. So anyway, thank you all. That's all I have.
Commissioner Kiefer?
Yes, thank you. As Commissioner Wagner said, I also had on my notes today being the anniversary of D-Day as well. We're blessed to still have Jack Myers in our community. And when I was reminded on the news about today, I recalled a neighbor of mine, Harry Strock. His son retired from the county, but his father, Harry Strock Jr., was on the second wave of D-Day, and I was honored to hear his story one day and how frightening and amazing of a day that was in history. So we're honored with many people in our community. Most have passed on who served on that fateful day. Also, on my way into our meeting this morning, seemed to me to be a particularly calm summer morning. I guess Memorial Day is behind us, so it's officially summer, if not June 21st yet, officially summer after Memorial Day. And I was just thinking of all the cars that were passing me. I passed a few, but most cars were passing me. And everyone busy on their way to work, busy on maybe their way to school yet. And I just said a quiet prayer for everyone, just hoping that they would make it to their destination safely. And I was thinking about the people that were on their way to work in particular, how hard that they work to make our community a good place. And they work to pay taxes to help our county, our state, our federal government run and operate. And it made me inquire this morning when I got here. I knew there was a day called Tax Freedom Day. For 2023, the date was April 18th. I guess in theory, that's the day that if everyone works from January 1st to April 18th, all of the money that they earn goes towards paying taxes. And then after that day, starting April 19th to the end of the year, is money for them to keep. So people work January, February, March, and 18 days into April to pay their taxes to the government. And I think that was a nice reminder today, as we are in charge of spending a portion of that money that they earn, that they go to work for every day. And I just hope we continue to spend that money as wisely as we can, because people work hard. People get up very early every morning, or maybe they work overnight, but they work hard for the money that they earn, and they pay taxes. And I just hope we continue to be good stewards of how that money is spent. That's all. Thank you.
Commissioner Harvey?
Yeah, thank you, President Barr. I echo the comments about D-Day and the sacrifices people have made, and that's what Memorial Day was about. And I think we all participated in those events. And I went to the Smithsburg Veterans Park Memorial Day event and spoke there. The ceremonies are very moving for those of us who've been in combat and had our friends and comrades killed or wounded. So that's a very important day, and I'm glad it was brought up today. And I'd like to say I really appreciate all the efforts by people in our community and on our staff, and especially the commissioners that not only go to those types of events, but go to all the other events that are going on in our county. Thank you, Jeff, for being there, John, for being at all those, Randy and Wayne. I'm not able to get to as many as I'd like for a lot of family issues. I got 3 young children and ball games and stuff like that. But
We hear them in the background when you call us.
yeah, okay. But, the Eagle Scout events, the fire hall meetings, parades, the planning and the work that goes into Smithsburg Days or the carnivals or, tractor days in different places and the parades. A lot of good, hard work by volunteers goes on every day working for us, as well as on our boards and commissions. And we have over 35 boards and commissions volunteering, in some cases, hundreds of hours a year to help our county become a better place. So I want to thank all of them for what they do for us, because they're working really hard, and it's their time, and it's time away from family and things that they might want to be doing. Lastly, I just want to address, we just finished the budget process, and it's not too early to start thinking about how we get aligned properly for the next budget process. And I voted for the budget. I voted to support EMS. I voted to fund the Commission on Aging. I voted to fund the schools. I voted to fund the fire departments and our sheriff's department. When it passed, that was a vote of affirmation to fund these incredibly important services and programs that we provide. We're still going to have choices to make going forward, to either cut things or raise revenue in order to meet the obligations of this county. The pension fund remains underfunded. We didn't have any excess this year. We're signing a bond agreement. It goes into effect today, June 6th, borrowing about $15 million. That wipes out any real potential excess that we have at the end of the year. It's not too early for us to start thinking about how we do align our priorities, align the funding or cuts in order to do the things that our community is looking for us to do. And without tangible, substantive recommendations, we're not going to be in a different place next year unless we start thinking about it and working towards that objective this year, the balance of this year. With that, I close. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Mr. Klein?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'd too like to acknowledge the sacrifices of those on D-Day 79 years ago. I also had the honor of escorting Jack Myers in the Sharpsburg Parade. He was there at D-Day, operated a tank. He'll be 100 years old on June 17th. The crowd was enthusiastically supporting him, acknowledging his service to our country during that parade. And also was a spectator at the Boonesboro Parade, and I saw Commissioner Barr ride by. Got a picture of him too, by the way. But I want to thank those towns for continuing those traditions of those parades. I also attended the Tech High Fire Academy graduation. I believe there was 11 or 12 students graduating. They had one standout candidate named Emily Kopp, who was recognized for 2 awards of higher achievement. Memorial Day, I attended Marty Snook's, Smithsburg, Funkstown, and the annual Memorial Day service at Antietam Battlefield, which drew a pretty, at the National Cemetery, which drew a pretty big crowd. I also attended the Williamsport Rotary, their 25th fishing rodeo that they've done in partnership with the National Park Service. And I think you and I were at McMahon's Mill and for an event as well. And I also attended the event at the Washington Monument in Boonesboro. They received recognition for being an Appalachian Trail community. And I also briefly got to say hi and meet the governor at Mac Volvo last week. Very polite gentleman, very welcoming to meet him. And I also did attend an event at Lowe's, and they kind of call it their Customer Appreciation Day.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I call it the Extravaganza Bonanza or something.
Last week or two has been filled with a lot of activities. Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioner Klein. Yes, the last 2 weeks have been quite busy, and I'm going to jump around here with a number of things this morning. First, I also would like to congratulate Jack Myers. He'll be 100 years old here in a week or two and have the opportunity to be physically and mentally fit to be over there representing not only this community but across the nation at the D-Day celebrations. Just an interesting fact that 48 and a half years ago, my wife and I met with Jack Myers when he was a salesman at Highway Furniture, and I think we bought all of our furniture to set up housekeeping together from him, and we still talk about that. He was a pleasure then, so hats off to Jack Myers. Just a point of note, I think each one of us has received the email from Anthony Williams at Beacon House, and I don't know if sometime we want to talk about whether we want to do a group tour of his facility. His request is for us to visit his facility and view what his organization or their organization does. I did participate in the Boonesboro Parade. A big thank you goes out to Mayor Howard Long and his wife Carol. They work real hard to facilitate and put everyone together to hold that parade there in Boonesboro. So hats off to the mayor and the council folks in Boonesboro. A couple other interesting things. I'll save the best one for last, but last week there was an event for what's called the Conductor's Circle for the Maryland Symphony Orchestra. Elizabeth Schultz, I think it was on Friday evening, had a real nice affair at the Maryland Theater, and We are so blessed to have Elizabeth Schultz and, as our conductor. And again, as I've said many times, we are not the state seat. We are not the largest municipality, but for a number of years, I should know the exact number, but I think it's going on somewhere close to 35 or 36, maybe 37 years, the Maryland Symphony Orchestra has been based here in Hagerstown. And hats off to this community that support the symphony, it participates, regular participants. And I have, if anyone's interested, I have the 23-24 season roster and dates, times, and box office information if anyone's interested to be a season ticket holder and to participate in our local Maryland Symphony Orchestra. Also, last week, Senator Quarterman and I attended an informational meeting, if you will, at Sandmar Children's Home. It's called the Sandmar Family and Community Services. You may or may not know that for the past few years, particularly through COVID, things have changed there at Sandmar. It's been basically administrative and office functions only. There's been no residents. There's been very little activity, and they're trying to regroup, stay there in those facilities, reactivate their services to our community, and realign with the current needs, much around mental health and the concern of what is going on both for males and females. And it was a very informative and informational several hours. We did around the room, the different participants. Social services was there. I think Brook Lane had a representative from the county, and from Senator, like I say, Senator Quarterman was there. So we look forward to initiatives with Sandmar Children's Home as they move forward with their services to this community. On Memorial Sunday, I visited a church called Jacob's Church. They are in, I guess, Franklin County and Blue Ridge Summit, but their pastor is Senior Richard Daughtridge. He's the father of Rich Daughtridge that has Warehouse Cinemas. And Rich Daughtridge had a very honorable both military and memorial service. They had a 40-foot American flag. Each of the church members gathered around the flag and displayed it, held it very respectfully, folded it as it was folded up. It was quite the service. Special music, special veteran Lynn Graham, retired Army, NSA, gave a special message, and it was just a very good day. Before I go into the upcoming events, I think as Jeff mentioned, Jeff and I participate in the memorial dedication service for the reconstruction and stabilization of the historic stone wall and towpath at McMahon's Mill up to Lock 42. Some of the interesting facts that were brought forth, the speakers were Ben Cardin, David Trone were there and gave comments. The visitation alone at the McMahon's Mill area is somewhere estimated to be nearly 150,000 folks a year. I've got some the McMahon's Mill area is approximately just shy of a mile long. It had been full of weakening walls, sinkholes, and washed out with slope failures, posing significant risks to hikers and bikers along the canal. So it was a significant restoration project. It obviously affects the well-being and economic viability of our community. And we'd just like to say thanks to the Park Service and for everyone that participated in a very nice event.
It was an award-winning engineering
Yes.
project, too.
Yes, it was. And I think it's 46% of the canal is in Washington County. So it has a dramatic impact on this community, on canal towns such as Hancock and Williamsport and even Sharpsburg. So lastly, yesterday I had the opportunity to spend the day in Annapolis. I did take my daughter and son-in-law and my two granddaughters, and as we kind of tagged along and followed the fourth grade class from Eastern Elementary. Several months ago, the governor was up and met with the fourth grade class at Eastern Elementary, and they interacted with the fourth grade class. And one of the young lads in the class challenged the governor that he could whip him in chess. And the governor says, well, I have a chessboard in my office, and one of these days I'll have you come to Annapolis and we'll play chess. So they were there yesterday. They did not have the time to play a game of chess, but it was hilarious. All kinds of pictures, the principal, the vice principal. So prior to that, standing on the steps early yesterday morning of spending the day there, my daughter grabbed me by the arm and she goes, "Isn't that the governor over there?" So I stepped down off the steps and walked towards him, and we had a nice conversation with our family and the governor. And he said to me he goes, later today, after the class goes through, he said, "I'll have a meeting with you." And true to the form, while the class was in his office, his staffer come over and said, "They're going to go that way. You stay right here." And we had I had a one-on-one with the governor yesterday afternoon. It was phenomenal. I even said to the governor, I said, last week when you left Volvo, you got tied up in traffic, didn't you? And he started to laugh, and he goes, "That was insane." And I said, "Governor, we experienced that several times a week." So it was good timing. So perfect. With that, lastly but not least, the upcoming events, the Highway Supervisors Luncheon is actually, I guess, today at noon. Public Safety Awards at Fairplay Fire Hall, June 8th. Grand opening of Sprout Plants and Things in Williamsport on Thursday, June 8th. Highways Supervisors, wait a minute, got it on here? Oh, that's
It's 2 times.
2 times. Is it June 9th? Okay. So there is a second one, June 9th. And then To Life campaign at Congregation Benai Abraham, which is upcoming for this Sunday, June 11th. Our own Tom Ryford will be the MC and give the Thomas Kennedy Fight for Religious Liberty and Inclusiveness lessons for the day. And also keep in mind that next Tuesday evening, June 13th, is our joint meeting in the evening with the town of Boonesboro. So with that,
Yeah, I forgot one thing, John, thank you. I wanted to thank Parks and Rec. Saturday, they had Summerfest, which was an event out at Marty Snook to stop by and see what all the Parks and Rec has to offer, which is an endless string of items they have to offer. I did stop by the pool. They had the annual cannonball diving contest, and if you think cannonball diving isn't real, Wikipedia says it is diving. I can't figure that one out, but they had about 20 participants. They wouldn't let me participate out of one because nobody over about 10 there doing it, or 12. But it was pretty fun. So if you get a chance to go out to Marty Snook Park and see what it has to offer and to stop by the pool, I think you'll enjoy it. That's all. Thank you.
You'd have won the over 80 class.
Over 70 class, but they didn't have one. Yeah.
that's your buddy.
That's my buddy, yeah.
Yeah.
Threw me right under
Okay.
the bus, didn't he?
Yes, I did.
Yep. Anyone else? Hearing none, we'll move into staff comments. I think Kendall.
Good Good morning, Commissioners. Kendall DeSaulnier, Deputy County Attorney and Interim Human Resources Director, bringing forth a recommendation for hire of Scott Yates as a Field Operations Lieutenant in the Division of Emergency Services. He is currently an employee, has been an employee of the county for about 2 years and a couple of months. He is currently on the DES scale at a grade 4, step 2, $51,068 annually. In this new position as Field Operations Lieutenant, he will be placed at a grade 6, step 1, and his annual salary will be $58,107 annually. The request is for a vote to approve his hire.
Second.
Okay, motion and second for hiring as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Kendall. Other staff comments this morning? None? Okay, with that, we'll open it up to citizens' participation. We have citizens. Paula, you want to? Okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for your service to the community, and if any of you are military family members, I missed your service. I'm generally here every year, but I was out of town in one of my other territories. We were thinking of you. Just want to give you a basic progress report. We have managed to hold off the land poachers from our family farm and have been seeking a historical landmark protection for a possible international world peace park. Now, I was thinking as you were talking about D-Day, Appalachian America, small homes, they decorate with their family photos, where some people have a room or hallway. I have 6 generations of family, beginning with the ancestors in that territory. I recently just added my 10-year high school reunion picture, my classmates from school. And the only real artwork I have, ironically, is a picture of the World War II peace signing in Versailles and a picture of the Twin Towers while they were still standing prior to September of 2001. I have asked for 2 seats at the Board of Directors of Phillips 66 and 1 share vote for my daughter and myself. My father's best friend was named Norman Vilsack Frauenheim, old enough to be his father, internationally famous classical pianist. I'm told my father visited his wife's family's castles in France, which I believe were the Versailles Palace, possibly the Greenbrier, and the Biltmore Estate in Western Carolina. Most of the information about this man is redacted on the internet, and it's probably not his real name. You know, when I try to find any of my ancestral records, they're now saying none at all exist in Western Carolina, that the ones previously offered aren't authentic. It has also been suggested I'm a direct heir to that man and possibly the countries of Germany, France, and Spain. And this explains a lot of complications with my life. He has substantial land holdings up in Pittsburgh, where there are damming systems in that state that directly feed into our Potomac River and pose major national security risk, including but not limited to possible flooding, control of the electrical grid, the power phone technology. I have family members that have been placed below certain dams in this area and up in Pennsylvania. And this kind of explains why there's been a very concerted effort to undermine my health and reputation. I have long advocated and worked in proactive public safety. I have great experience with the Red Cross, and in the last decade or 2 I've been advocating for peace. We now have the collective bargaining power of still employed civil servants and retired civil servants, upwards of 1 million people in and around the Beltway Loop, to help on Mission Bay and to help secure the safety of all civilians and our nation's capital of anyone who might be misappropriating those stamps. I would like equal representation in Keys, because these systems should never be used, although they are targeted in wartime. And if you pay careful attention to the floodplain, and I may be reading the maps wrong, but in DC, that water does not empty out over into Northern Virginia, who didn't do a great job of protecting themselves in September of 2001. It empties out into the southeast portion of the poorer areas of our nation's capital. And no matter how this all could potentially work out, you know, when Hurricane Agnes flooded in the early 70s, I went to play in the creek as a child and got sunk waist deep in the mud. There are so many problems associated that people do not seem to understand that would affect people eventually worldwide, but through migration of animals and things like that could be very, very problematic. So I think this community is perfectly positioned to help. You're not in a direct floodplain as far as I can tell. If you want my help, I ask you to secure and partner with Berkeley County and let me know how I may be able to help you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wally?
Good morning. Paul M. Ward, Cedar Lawn, Hagerstown, Washington County. Washington County, Hagerstown Senior Citizen Advocate. Side note, Memorial Day celebrations in our county are wonderfully participated in. I participated in one down here at City Hall. But I have in the years past, as some of you remember, participated in the others throughout the county. And we are very blessed to have citizenry that are patriotic, remember our fallen heroes and our present warriors. And we are very blessed to have a senior on a national scale in Jack Myers doing the celebration over at D-Day this week. And of course, celebrating his birthday forthcoming. Wonderful. Our community participates so well in that activity, especially many of our seniors in our area. President Barr, commissioners and county staff, on Tuesday, May the 30th of last week, the Commission on Aging Senior Center had a wonderful ribbon cutting event for our new fit room. We missed having you guys participate. I know your schedules are very busy. I want to thank Mr. Hobbs, representing administration and participating in our ribbon cutting there for the seniors of Washington County, and commend Ms. Ashley of your marketing department for the wonderful photographs she did for marketing, as well as the presentation of your citation that we get from the commissioners. She did an excellent job. As you know, this was a long time coming building. We've been working on this building for a few years to bring it up to scale and fit for what we decided to use this county building for, and that is a wonderful exercise location for all of our seniors. First-rate, first-class equipment. And I urge my fellow citizens at Washington County to please come on out, take a look, get a tour, become a member. We started the process of working with this government building, and we're very grateful to add to our campus as a whole at the senior center, the fitness center building. Several years ago, when Miss Amy Olak invited me over to shoot the insides and the outsides of that building when they were vacant and needs of the various repairs and the things that we could identify as we started our adventure to open up this fit center for the seniors. Finally, it occurred on the 30th, as I indicated, and I would invite, as I have already stated, our gifted seniors to participate in it. The rehabilitation of this building and the help that the county had given the Commission on Aging over these past months and years in developing and putting it together is very appreciative of the commissioners and of the county employees. I would like to go one step farther in my presentation remarks today concerning our new building. As wonderful that it is, and what it's going to achieve for our senior population, we still are a little behind on the ADA compliancy thereof. Specifically, our handicapped seniors who use canes, walkers, wheelchairs will have a difficult time with the main door of the fit center. ADA compliant in width and so forth, heavy, fireproof, wonderful door. Except when I sit in my wheelchair, I gotta go through that door, open the door. It's difficult to hold open, get my wheelchair through that. Doesn't have the push button automatic door. Don't know why that was left off of the total aspects of the building when everything else was being brought up to scale and to meet ADA compliance, the bathrooms, the rooms inside, the areas you walk through. So I asked the commissioners to reconsider, take a look. We have two doors as a handicap. Now this building, as you all know, sits behind the main building on the campus. The parking aspects for the building is very limited. However, most of our seniors are going to come through the main entrance anyway to check in to do other things before going out to the fit building. So now we got to exit the main building on the back side of it through another door that is not push button qualified for those of us who would have difficulty going through the door. So we have two doors. We're leaving the building, the main building, the curve to go into the annex building or the fit building, and of course the fit building. So I'd like to bring that to your attention. Thank you all for your support. As we achieved this wonderful goal, it took, like I said, several years. We were very happy to open it, to show off our state-of-the-art equipment. We were delayed in opening it because of COVID and getting our equipment there, get it set up, and qualifying the equipment for use for seniors in Washington County. So we're very appreciative of those efforts and everything of accomplishing that. Just ask you to go one step farther. An ADA requirement of having that door on an electric push button, making it easier for those many seniors that need to go through the two doors to get to it. Thank you very much. Please come out, gentlemen and employees, county employees, and see the fit building. You may not qualify because you may not be old enough, but it's a job well done that the county did, and we're very proud of it. And the residents here in Washington County, I wish you well, and please come on out and participate in this wonderful facility that we worked so hard for your benefit and on your behalf. Thank you.
Anyone else, public or citizens' participation? Hearing none, we'll move right into our agenda items here this morning. First item is property acquisition for Hopewell Road. Todd Moser.
Good morning, Commissioners. Todd Moser, Property Administrator, Division of Engineering. As stated, this is property acquisition for Hopewell Road. Move to approve the option agreements for partial property acquisition, including easements for 11028 Hopewell Road, 11047 Hopewell Road, and 11037 Hopewell Road, and approve an ordinance approving said purchase and conveyance, and to authorize the execution of the necessary documentation to finalize acquisition and conveyance. Properties were appraised and option agreements have been signed by the property owners for these properties. 11028 Hopewell Road, fee simple acquisition consisting of 7,709 square feet. Temporary construction easement consisting of 7,763 square feet for a total cost of acquisition of $17,280. 11047 Hopewell Road, fee simple acquisition of 8 square feet. Temporary construction acquisition consisting of 1,261 square feet, and property of current right-of-way to be conveyed to the property owner, 1,920 square feet. Cost of acquisition is $0 because we are conveying more property than we're taking in this case. 11037 Hopewell Road, 30 square feet of fee simple acquisition. Temporary easement is 200 square feet, and property conveyed is 616 square feet. Again, the cost of acquisition is $0 because we are conveying more property than we're taking for the project. The Hopewell Road realignment and culvert work in this area is part of the Wright Road Appalachian Regional Commission ARC project. Any questions?
Any discussion?
Motion to approve.
A second.
Motion is second to approve as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, Todd. Next item is Memorandum of Understanding regarding Meritus Medical Center, Inc. and Board of Education of Washington County Real Property Conveyance.
Again, Todd Moser, Property Administrator, Division of Engineering. Move to approve the county's participation in the MOU with Meritus Medical Center, INC Meritus, and Washington County Board of Education, BOE, concerning the property consisting of plus or minus 28.04 acres located on the northeast side of Mount Etna Road, to accept the transfer of property from the BOE, to adopt the ordinance declaring the property as surplus, to approve the conveyance of the same, and to authorize the execution of the necessary documentation to finalize the conveyance for $2,700,000. The intent to convey the property will be duly advertised. The BOE has determined land behind Children's Village consisting of approximately 28.04 acres to be surplus property and unsuitable for construction of an elementary school and unnecessary for the continued operations of Children's Village. Meritus has agreed to acquire the surplus property to accommodate student housing for the Meritus School of Medicine for $2.7 million. The property was appraised by Bowers Appraisal Services, LLC in November of 2022. The agreement includes a 10-year first right of refusal for Meritus to purchase the approximate 3.2 acres Children's Village property for $304,000. However, BOE has stated that it has no intention of selling or relocating Children's Village. The right of first refusal shall also provide that if at any time after the 10-year period the BOE determines the 3.2 acres to be surplus, the property will be offered to Meritus at the current fair market value. BOE cannot by law convey any property to any entity other than the local government, and therefore the county must approve and accept the conveyance of property from BOE, convey the property, and to be a party of the MOU. The county will contribute the $2.7 million to the county's capital reserve fund for BOE's use in its sole discretion to acquire land for the new school construction, for school building construction, or renovation projects. The state of Maryland must also approve the proposed disposal of surplus property.
Questions, comments?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second to approve as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, hotel rental tax funding request, Maryland Symphony Orchestra, Susan Buchanan.
You skipped over, I think, or something.
Community legacy.
Community Legacy Grant, John.
Oh, I'm on the wrong, sorry, guys, I'm on the wrong. I'm on an old agenda item, I guess. Next item, sorry, is Community Legacy Grant Application Request for Approval. Good morning, Jennifer.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rachel Souders, Senior Grant Manager, Office of Grant Management.
Jennifer Kinzer, Deputy Director, Washington County Planning and Zoning.
The Department of Planning and Zoning is requesting permission to submit a grant application to and accept funding awarded from the DHCD's Community Legacy Grant Program on behalf of Cascade Properties LLC. They're requesting $400,000 to assist with the cost of rehabilitating Building 102 to facilitate future development of the former Fort Ritchie property. As part of the continuing efforts in the Fort Ritchie redevelopment project, Cascade Properties intends to rehabilitate the building and convert it into a tap room, which will further enhance the property and create a tourist destination for the remote region of the county. The Office of Grant Management has reviewed the request and grant funding guidelines. There are no unusual conditions associated with the grant. It does not require any matching fund contribution from the county, and any remaining balance on the project will be the responsibility of Cascade Properties LLC. If the funding is awarded, the county will enter into a subrecipient agreement with Cascade Properties LLC in order to subgrant the funds and outline each party's roles and responsibilities related to the project. It will commence October 1st, 2023, and the performance period ends December 31st, 24. So we're requesting approval to submit the application, accept the funds, and enter into a subrecipient agreement.
That's pretty normal, and you've done this quite often, right?
Yeah, we've done it multiple times with Cascade, just recently.
Yeah, I'd motion to approve.
Wait, I have a question first, though, excuse me. Rachel, Cascade Properties is a private entity, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what's the overall cost to rehabilitate the building?
The overall cost estimate for this project is $776,000.
Okay.
The
So,
subrecipient agreement will outline that the county is not contributing anything and the remaining balance is fully.
and the grant comes from what source again?
Department of Housing and Community Development, or, did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Thanks.
Good.
It's a Community Legacy Grant Program they're running to try to maintain the integrity of areas like Fort Ritchie
No,
for its history.
Good, I appreciate that. I just wanted clarification on what they were contributing to this. And the benefits overall, from your perspective, is going to be what? A tap house there will do what?
Honestly, this is going to be a huge benefit to the area. There's a venue, I don't know how familiar you are with Fort Ritchie, but they have a hall by the lake that they use for weddings and such, so having a tap room there will probably really contribute to the tourist attraction of the county.
Okay,
People will
good.
go far and wide for tastings and such like that, so I think it's going to be a huge success.
Okay, good. I second.
Okay. Motion and second on the floor. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Thank you.
And now that I'm back on the right agenda item here, contract award, purchase 1592, Hagerstown Regional Airport, Taxiway F, Rehabilitation Project. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Rick Curry, Director of Purchasing.
Morning, Neil Doran, Airport Director.
Subject before you is contract award PUR 1592, Hagerstown Regional Airport Taxiway F, Rehabilitation Project. The recommended motion move to award the taxiway project to responsible bidder, CWM Hetzer Incorporated, Hagerstown, Maryland. Submitted the total sum low bid of $6,888,454.50. The award is contingent upon FAA approval and also contingent upon the county attorney's office approval of the contract agreement. The scope of work includes but not limited to construction, milling, overlay, marketing, pavement, sign, lighting, guidance signs. The project is to be completed within 139 days. If not, the county can impose $2,500 per day liquidated damages. The invitation bid was advertised on the various media, as far as newspaper, the websites listed. You see the number of companies that were presented at the pre-conference, and we received 2 bids for this project. Funds are available in the CIP for this project in the amount of $6,300,000. And you see the breakdown of FAA funding and MAA funding and also local portions. And also we have concurrence, and there's a bid tabulation showing the prices that were submitted by the contractors. Questions?
Yeah, I have just a curious question more for Neil than, on this taxiway, Foxtrot, when they do this, they're gonna mill, I've heard what they're gonna do, but is that going to put it back to original, or is that gonna increase the weight bearing on that taxiway for bigger aircraft?
It's going to maintain what we've got that allows the handling of the Airbus 320.
So it's not gonna really beef it up any more than what it is?
It's going to meet the spec for what we need right now.
Okay.
And, but the existing structures, some are 30 years old, so it's time to rebuild and reconstruct.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
No, motion to approve, yeah.
Second.
Okay. Motion is second on the floor to, as submitted, to approve. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Next item is bid award renewal, purchase 1552, mattress bed base removal. Morning, Rick.
Morning again.
Morning, Dave.
Morning, Dave Basin, Deputy Director of Solid Waste.
Good morning. Again, Rick Curry, Director of Purchasing. Subject before you is bid award renewal PUR 1552 mattress bed base removal. Move to renew the contract for the mattress and bed base removal disposal recycling service at 40 West Landfill to Turbo Hall Incorporated of Annapolis Junction, Maryland, in the amount of $857.51 per ton. The original contract was awarded back in 2022 at a price of $832.53 a ton. This is a 1-year contract with 2 optional years for renewal. The price increase is based off the CPI. The CPI for that time frame is 3.7 because of the language within the bid document. We're asking for a 3% price increase. This is, like I said, it's a 1-year contract with renewals, and there are funds budgeted in the department's budget for these services. And we have concurrence of the division director. Questions?
No questions. Motion?
Dave, I'm curious about how many mattresses equal a ton?
Depending on size, we're looking at 40 to 50 roughly.
Okay. And so the fee that we collect when we receive a mattress is more than enough to cover?
No. But we're trying to make it affordable.
Trying to make it affordable.
It's one of those programs with, we knew it wasn't gonna be self-supporting, but trying to make it affordable so that people can recycle their mattresses and keep them out of the landfill is the biggest thing.
Okay.
And the advantage to keeping them out of landfills?
Space, the biggest thing is just space, airspace.
So from your perspective, it's a value to us to recycle it because it's costing us a lot of money?
Yes,
So the opportunity cost, you figure that one out, or is this a mandated requirement?
not mandated yet, but there is some proposed legislation that if it gets passed, we won't be allowed to landfill them. So we were kind of getting ahead of the legislation whenever we started this program. But, you know, the benefit of keeping mattresses out of landfill is huge.
How much does it cost us to fulfill the state's mandates right now for recycling? The cost to us? Ballpark number.
Our recycling program, we have a department set up for that. It's probably in the, let's say, $300,000 to $400,000 range. And that covers our regular recycling, electronics recycling, mattresses,
Plastics.
you know, our oil and antifreeze, cooking oil.
And that's after anything that we get as far as some payment for something, or,
Yes,
and the fees that we charge,
Yes, we
right?
do collect fees for recycling permits.
But it's still a net loss to us of
Still
about
a net.
$400,000.
Yes, yes.
If we could ask our legislative delegation to actually see if we can get reimbursed for that. I know the answer is probably going to be no, but it would be nice since this is a mandate. We continue to get mandates
Yes.
and no revenue to match it, so. Hope we could discuss that with the delegation in the future. Thank you.
Motion?
Motion to approve, or second.
Okay. All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Next item is bid award renewal, 1567, electronic recycling.
Again, Rick Curry, Director of Purchasing.
Dave Mason, Deputy Director with Solid Waste.
Subject is bid award renewal, PUR 1567, electronic recycling. Recommended motion to renew the contract recycling services at the 40 West landfill with PC Recycling doing business as Securus of Chantilly, Virginia, at a rate as included a 6.1% increase. The original contract was awarded back in 2022. You can see the previous prices that we were paying for these services and the increase, which equates to the price we'll be paying for the new services going forward. This is a one-year contract with 2-year option renewals. And also it lists the items that we do recycle through this vendor. We do have concurrence of the division director, and you have some serious letter of request for price increase. Questions?
Discussion, motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor for approval as submitted. All in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you, gentlemen. Next item is bid award 1611, janitorial services for Washington County.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brandy Noble, Buyer in the Purchasing Department.
Danny Dixon, Deputy Director of Public Works.
The first recommendation I have for you this morning is the bid award PUR 1611 Janitorial Services for Washington County location. The recommended motion is to award the janitorial services contract to the responsible bidder, FEF Cleaning, out of Holzapfel, Pennsylvania, under option number 1. Their total bid amount was $232,534 annually, and unit cost as the following. Additional carpet cleaning was 50 cents per square foot. An hourly labor rate for additional hours as required was $15, and the hourly labor rate for Saturdays, Sundays, and holidays was $23. The solicitation was listed on the eMaryland Marketplace website, the county's website, and the local newspaper. 62 companies registered and downloaded the document. We did receive 12 bids. One of those bids were deemed non-responsive. Contract term for this is a one-year period with a 4-year additional consecutive one-year period options for the county to pick up. Funding is available in the operating budgets for FY24 for all the using departments.
Same people?
You know,
Oh, it's different people then, okay.
And who do we currently have performing janitorial services here?
We currently have Beck and Call, and we'll be changing over this year. It was a 5-year contract with them.
Okay. And so Gary and Thomas and the guys that do the cleaning here are not going to continue?
We don't know. On occasion, sometimes vendors will use existing staff, but that's not a guarantee.
Okay.
Comments? Motion?
What's the minimum wage right now again? 15 in January. So $15 for the labor is consistent with that for this year. Could go up next year or later this year when the minimum wage changes.
This contract, these prices will remain for 1 year. They can't raise them for 1 year. At their renewal of the first 4 of the 1-year options, they can request an increase. That'll be.
I'm just wondering if the minimum wage changes in the fall?
That would be, to me, if we contracted for a year, that would be on the servicers' issues. If they didn't contract enough, it's on them, not us, to give a raise. I would think that's the case, like Kirk, right?
Well, per the terms of the contract, they
Yeah.
have 1 year, they can't ask for an
Okay.
increase.
All righty, thank you.
Motion to approve.
I second, please.
Second. Motion is second on the floor. All in favor by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Next item is contract award 1616, stop loss insurance coverage. Good morning.
Randy Nagelbauer for Washington.
I'm Becky Lewis. I'm a benefits consultant from CBIZ.
The next recommendation I have for you is the contract award PUR 1616, stop loss insurance coverage. The recommended motion is to award the contract for stop loss insurance to the responsible bidder, Highmark out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who submitted a total annual premium for option 1 of $1,056,426.24 with a specific stop loss of $175,000 per claimant. Stop loss policies are insurances that protects the plan from significant claim costs associated with individual members or an entire group. Currently, Washington County has a stop loss policy with Highmark that limits the medical and prescription drug plan cost at a maximum of $175,000 per member per year. The request for proposal was advertised on the State of Maryland's eMaryland Marketplace website, the county's website, and a local newspaper. Direct notice was sent to 12 potential insurance bidders for this. Proposals were received on May 1st from 4 companies. Funding is available in FY24 health insurance budget for these services.
Same people. Just for me, stop loss, explain it in simple terms. You go to X amount of dollars and then what happens?
You're self-funded for your medical and prescription plan today. Once
Right.
someone hits above $175,000 is when stop loss kicks in.
So it's like a gap.
It caps your liability
Yeah.
on any
Okay.
members.
Do you have any statistics as to, in last fiscal year, how many times we relied on stop loss insurance?
Yeah, 4 times, or no, wait. I have to look at my notes. You had 7 members hit over $175,000 last fiscal year. You've had 3 hits so far in the first quarter of this fiscal year. We should say through the first quarter of this calendar year, but 3 quarters of your fiscal year.
So if you did the math, just hypothetically, we're going to spend $1 million here. Would we be winners or losers from the last year was stopped?
You lost, I'll be very honest, you lost in what you received, but, it's protection in case of
Just
that
in
$1
case.
million.
Right now, we
Yeah.
spent less than $1 million for people across 175, but you're the people that protect us if you get 10, 20 people going over 175.
That's exactly it. You don't know when the $1 million or $2 million
It's like any other
claim is
insurance
coming.
policy.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Well, I'm certainly grateful that our employees and their families haven't had to rely on this, but might there be other alternatives if we've spent more on the coverage than what the benefit was we received? Should we consider a lesser amount for stop loss? Do we have other alternatives?
Yeah, the alternative would be to raise the specific stop loss level, which does reduce the premium, but it increases your exposure if you have, a dozen people or however many that go above that dollar amount. The recommendation is to keep it where it is for that protection, and we are seeing more and more of, specialty drug claims can easily go into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a shame, I guess, that you're not using it, but I attribute it to auto insurance. We all pay auto insurance, but you don't want to have you know what I mean? You're paying more, you don't want to have to use it, and that's kind of how the reinsurance is there too. It's protection for the self-funded plan for these catastrophic conditions.
Okay.
I recommend to approve.
I'll second.
Motion second to approve as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know if the race here. You ready? Okay. I wasn't sure. Emily just walked in, and I didn't want to surprise her. The next item is hotel rental tax funding request, Maryland Symphony Orchestra.
Good morning. Susan Buchanan, Director, Office of Grant Management. And with me this morning, we have Emily Sachs, Director of Development from the Maryland Symphony Orchestra. We're here this morning because the Maryland Symphony Orchestra has submitted a request of $30,000 of hotel rental tax funding to assist with the costs associated with the MSO Salute to Independence. The event this year will be held on July 1st at Hagerstown Community College. The total event budget is it's projected to be $92,500. The remaining costs will be funded through other grants and support from individual donors. The Board of County Commissioners has provided financial support to this event historically. In 2022, a contribution of $20,000 was made towards the direct expenses of the event. The event does meet all 7 of the Board of County Commissioners' goals and criteria for the use of hotel rental tax funds. If awarded, the fund will be reduced by the amount of the award. The current uncommitted balance of the fund at the time of writing of this agenda request was $519,697.09. Have anything you'd like to add to the presentation?
Just a thank you for the past support, and we look forward to a wonderful event for the community this year. We have a wonderful concert planned with fireworks, and we look forward to that. Thank you.
Just a curious question for me, for Susan. Actually, I'm good, but the 7 criteria, we grade everything on that 7. The 7's the best we can do for meeting criteria, right?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
There's 7 goals. So 7 out of 7 is 100%.
So, Emily, the hope, I know, is to return this to a major event at Antietam Battlefield. And we have a long history of doing that, and I think we all support that, as does our delegation. It brings in a lot of people. If you go down the list of things, matter of fact, I first heard about Antietam before I ever even knew anybody here about the event through the Maryland Symphony and what was being done on the 4th of July. So it's great publicity and puts Washington County on the map in a big way. And we get a lot of people, and it's got broad support, and it's the #1 national holiday that we have. So really appreciate what you guys are doing in that regard. And I also commend you for all the fundraising that you do. That's a very important criteria for me when I look at any outside entity that's seeking funds. How much support does it have? What is it actually doing to raise money? How successful are they at doing that? What do they represent? What's their transparency like? All of those things, you guys are top-notch. And so I commend you for everything that your organization is doing as you represent them here today.
I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd also like to add that the Salute to Independence is one of the key factors that First Energy Potomac Edison located here in Washington County.
I'd motion to approve.
Okay, motion and second to approve as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is Agricultural Folks Grant Program titled Washington County, Maryland Agricultural Innovation Grant. Funding requests Washington County Hotel Rental Tax Funds in the amount of $300,000 over next 3 fiscal years. Good morning, Leslie.
Good morning, County Commissioners. Leslie Hart, Washington County Department of Business Development. I'm the Business Development Specialist for Agriculture, Hospitality, and Tourism. And we have, in conjunction with partnership in my office and reviewing what other counties are doing across the state, agriculture is still our largest industry in Washington County. And I would like to create a grant that is focused on supporting our 900 farms in Washington County. We have $153 million in sales that is generated directly by agriculture, and many of the grants that come out are very much retail business focused. Ag really does get left by the wayside many times when it comes to grants. I'm requesting $300,000 to be spaced over the next 3 years, $100,000 each year, each fiscal year. And the grants would be awarded on an application basis. The farmers would apply, and they could request $1,000 up to $25,000, not to exceed $100,000 in any 1 year.
Have we ever done this before?
No, sir, this is the first.
Okay.
This is the first, and I'm requesting your support to move forward with this.
Okay.
The source of the money would be
Hotel, wouldn't it?
hotel motel.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So on the list of 7 things, since this is coming out of the hotel fund, it hits 6 of the 7. I don't think we're generating donations to support that type of thing.
That's correct.
Which is the one area which wouldn't be expected in this. But the benefits of it, we do have agritourism here.
We do.
We have the dairies system, we have the creameries, we have the agricultural center events, we have, it all feeds into that, even the, the carnivals and things with all the farmers putting out their markets and stuff. And then, people come here for our, Monday in Smithsburg and Boonesboro and places like that for the markets that we have, the ag markets.
We have a farmer's market every day.
Yeah, well, we do, sort of. So it hits all those things.
Yes, sir.
So have you given any thought to what this will actually translate into, though? It's a nice idea, I understand it, but I'm just wondering, how do we think this will actually improve the viability of these farmers? You're going to be looking at them individually?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Up to a $25,000 grant?
That's correct. That's correct.
That could be substantial for someone who's doing a lavender farm on their 20 acres.
Correct. Correct. It could be substantial for several farms. There is an application process that has a scoring system tied to it, and we've already identified the judges or the reviewers who are going to look at the grants and make sure that they're all equitably, fairly sourced across the board. The impact could be 4 or 5 times the amount of money. When you think, the hope that I have, many small farmers have very limited abilities to do marketing outreach, to reach more client base. You know, anytime that we can generate more sales in the ag industry means that we're reaching more customers, and that money stays in Washington County. That money also helps the farmer be able to grow the business. It also helps the farmer be able to buy local things from local consumers or local businesses like farm trucks and tractors. The impact could be astronomical. The plan for this grant is a review after the grants have been awarded. There's a questionnaire that's involved with each one of the farmers that they will answer questions about the impact themselves and how they felt the reward of the grant and what it did for their business. And that I will bring back to you in the fall timeframe. So you will get a review of this every year once the money has been.
So who's actually involved in the review, if I may ask? For the granting of these?
Yes, of course. Jonathan Horowitz, myself, Herb Melrath, and Chris Boggs.
Okay, do we have any agricultural farmers that are going to be involved in?
We do not, because they can all apply.
They can all apply, but I'm just sort of wondering how we get the ag perspective really in there. I know you're great at this, Leslie, but I'm just.
And Chris Boggs is the other piece. You know, I can very easily reach across to any of my ag marketing professionals across the state. They're always willing to assist, so that I can bring in somebody.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
And that was one of the questions, who'd you pull for this judging? But I think my question is, your criteria, which I see some of it, what could be used for, you'll have a criteria what money can be used for, right?
Yes, sir.
And you'll have your application process. Does the little guy have as much chance as the big guy to get the grant?
Absolutely.
So you have it tailored that my multi-million-dollar farming enterprise is not going to have a huge advantage over my 20-acre farmette?
No, sir.
Okay.
I have a question or two. I appreciate all that I've learned about agriculture from you, Leslie, in the county and our farmers, and I know how important it is, and I love to eat, so
Amen.
Even more important. But I'm wondering, these grants, are you making a distinction? Is it appropriate to make a distinction between those farmers or anyone in agriculture who that's their livelihood versus someone who might be a hobby farmer, does something on the side, it's not their mainstay, they don't need it for their own livelihood?
Yes, that is part of the application process. One of the first initial requirements is you must be in Washington County and you must be on at least 6 acres of agriculturally zoned or environmentally conservation zoned land. So that's one piece. The second piece comes out if it is a fully functioning farm, when they submit their profit and loss statements and their financials, and we will look at that as far as the financial impact. They also have the opportunity to express in a narrative what the needs will do for the farm. And again, it's all a point system, so a hobby farmer will receive less points than a fully functioning business.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions?
I motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second to approve as submitted. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm staying too. I'm up next
Yes.
with Miss Danielle.
Agriculture. June is National Dairy Month.
It is.
Congratulations.
Good morning. All righty. Leslie Hart again, so you have it for the record. You know who I am.
Danielle Weaver, Public Relations and Marketing Director.
Danielle and I are here today to share with you, of course, that June is Dairy Month. Washington County has the most dairy farms in the state of Maryland. There are about 300 farms, dairy farms, fully operational dairy farms in the state. We have 1/3 of those right here in Washington County, making us the largest dairy county in the state of Maryland.
Is that 108? How many do we have?
We're right around 105 right now.
105.
I got one that's,
Okay.
so, which is not a bad thing. Because when somebody loses a dairy farm, I usually have somebody in that wants to replace, so that's a good thing. It's, of course, the largest industry in the state of Maryland, but milk gives us so many wonderful things, like ice cream. There are about 40,000 dairy cows spread across the state of Maryland. And remember, 1/3 of those live right here in Washington County. Just so you have a couple of facts about the dairy industry. The average cow can produce about 21, almost 2,200 pounds of milk. and that is about 2,500 gallons of milk per cow per year. That's huge when you think of it. Think about 2,500 gallons of milk. So milk is a good source of high-quality protein and calcium, all part of a healthy diet. And we are, again, very proud of our dairy operations. I do have Faces of Farming coming later in the month. Thank you, Ms. Dawn. And I have another little surprise, like I always bring when I come to dairy and talk about Dairy Month, but you'll see that later in the month. So I'll turn everything
Or in the parking lot.
It might, Andy, I think it's going to be in here.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
Give me a shovel, I'll stand around.
No, but we'll be okay. Don't worry. I'll turn it over to Dan.
Okay, well, good morning, Commissioners. I'm thrilled to be here today to share some exciting news. It's my pleasure to announce the launch of our 3rd annual Washington County Ice Cream Trail. The Washington County, Maryland Ice Cream Trail is back and better than ever, showcasing the very best frozen treats our county has to offer. Starting from today, June 6th, to Saturday, September 23rd, ice cream enthusiasts and families alike are invited to embark on a delightful journey through our beautiful county, discovering hidden gems and indulging in delicious ice cream creations. With 11 participating locations on the trail, you'll have the opportunity to sample a wide array of flavors and experience the unique charm at each venue. To make your ice cream adventure even more exciting, we created the Ice Cream Trail map, and that's being displayed on the TV. This map will lead you through each location, allowing you to collect stamps along the way. After collecting all the stamps at each location, you'll become eligible for some fantastic prizes, including gift certificates, gift baskets, and more from over 30 local businesses and ice cream shops. This year, the public relations team decided to work with local businesses to sponsor the trail. Within a half an hour of asking for sponsorships, all the spots were filled. I would like to express our deepest gratitude to all the ice cream shops and businesses that have joined us on this adventure. Their dedication to the community and partnering with local government is truly amazing. So gather your friends and family and prepare for an ice cream adventure. Get ready to embark on the 3rd annual Ice Cream Trail, where you'll discover the perfect scoop, create lasting memories, and indulge in a truly sweet summer experience. Thank you, and while we play an advertisement created by our PR team about the trail, we have a special treat in store for you. We will be serving locally sourced ice cream from local cows from Misty Meadows Farm and Creamery, located right here in Washington County in Smithsburg, Maryland.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Want to read it?
I gotta have chocolate. What else you got? Raspberry?
Backed by popular demand, it's the Washington County Ice Cream Trail. Journey to all 11 locally owned ice cream shops to receive a stamp on your ice cream trail map. Complete the trail for your chance to win prizes from our local business sponsors. To download the map, visit washco-md.net/ice cream trail and make sure you follow Washington County on Facebook and Instagram. Beat the heat with a tasty treat and complete the Washington County Ice Cream Trail. #WashCo Ice Cream Trail.
So how do we get that publicized, besides posting it on the webpage?
So every one of the Ice Cream Trail participants has a map, plus they have signage in their stores.
Just how does the county do it?
Oh, we do it, well, I'll let Danielle talk to that through social.
Will you boost it?
Yeah, well, it'll be all on all of our social media channels. We're also playing ads at Lettersburg Cinemas. We have ads on the billboards around the county. We are putting it, of course, on our website.
Do you ever boost anything, Danielle?
There are times that we've boosted things on Facebook.
Well, what does it cost to boost something to reach 18,000 people?
I would have to look into it because the amounts can change.
Okay.
So I'd have to look in if you wanted to reach.
It's always an
1,000
effective way of
specifically.
targeting the right audience, young families, that type sort of thing. Whoever the demographic is, you target it.
Demographic for ice cream is everybody.
Yeah, it really is.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Hey, does everybody have their stamps?
Yes, sir.
Yes, they all have
If I go to
special
Misty
stamps
Meadows, they
this
got a
year.
stamp. Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We had ones with the Ice Cream Trail logo put on them this year, so
Kentucky Creamery has their stamp.
everyone's ready and they're really excited this year, so.
Good,
We had
thank
a
you.
really great turnout last year, and hopefully it's even bigger and better this year.
And who's provided this ice cream, Misty Meadows?
Misty
Thank you, Misty Meadows, for that.
And by being at Misty Meadows, they make their own ice cream, correct?
They do.
And they can control the butter fat percent in the ice cream,
Yep,
correct?
they do, they do. They have amazing ice cream.
That's the Herbst family.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Betsy and Dave Herbst.
I'll confess I've never done this the whole way because of my caloric intake. You know, I just keep gaining weight as a commissioner, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to make the trail.
You will not regret it.
And we'll just get a
at
bigger
all.
seat and
We can help you with
buy a
that.
bigger truck, and I'll be
Yeah,
good to go.
We can do that. We can do that.
Or at the end of the trail, you can go to the senior fit building.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Or I can feed you, put vegetables in you all day from local farms, and then you can indulge in ice
I
cream.
like it.
We do have some ideas to get you guys involved with the Ice Cream Trail, so I'll be reaching out to you.
Okay.
Let me know, so.
Very good.
That's all we have. Thank you so much for your
Thank
time
you.
today.
Thank you.
Thanks to the Herbst family. Motion to go.
Back by popular.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to go into.
I'll go into closed session, yeah.
Closed session. Let's take a 5-minute recess first.